Hello and welcome back to another video. Today's video is about how mindset can prolong your life. I only came across this interesting study yesterday. Hadn't heard about it before, and it really ties in with what my last video was on progression through life at kind of a constant rate of progressing. So this study, I'm going to read out what I'm reading, what I found here. Another study on middle-aged adults completed by researchers at Yale and Miami revealed that those with more positive beliefs around aging lived 7.5 years longer than those with less positive self-perceptions of aging. So basically, your mindset can prolong your life. Now, I think this study, basically, obviously it's an isolated study, so it's not conclusive, but the premise, the concept, I think is very true. Happier people would live longer. That makes a lot of sense to me. Happier people quite simply could mean that you have a better life, which might reflect your health, your obesity level. That's not your obesity level, but your weight level, your BMI, those sort of things. It makes a lot of sense. A happier person with a better mindset, a better body, better health should live longer. It kind of seems obvious, but I hadn't seen, I guess, proof of this until I've seen this study, and I think it just reflects the importance of developing a good, strong mindset when you're young, and maintaining it throughout your life. Maintaining that abundance mindset, not having a scarcity mindset, being able to see the opportunities and being able to see solutions to problems, being able to, be very present in situations that other people would find difficult throughout the day, throughout your life. I just think it's an amazing study. 7.5 years just on your perception of aging. So I guess what they must have done is they must have gotten a bunch of people, asked them what their perception on life was, asked them a bunch of questions, and then just tracked them, and then after a couple of years see who was alive and who was dead. And clearly the people who had a more positive perception lived longer. So I mean, I think that's really amazing. Like, literally just the way you think, the way you act in every day, whether you're more optimistic or not, can have an effect on your life. So if anybody ever needed an excuse to understand why it's good to be optimistic, there is just such a good example. And if you had that mindset, along with all the other things which I'm trying to write in the book about like better living and sacrificing when you're young so you can reap the benefits when you're slightly older, in terms of finances, etc., etc., with all these things adding up, I think you'd probably get a lot more than 7.5 years out of it. I'd be saying probably 15, 20 years, especially if you kept your brain active. That way you'd avoid things like Alzheimer's. If you learned another language, things like that are all very good for brain health. If you kept your brain sharp, kept your body in the state it needs to be. I was listening to a very good lecture by this doctor from England. I think Andrew Steele, something like that. Mr. Steele is his name. He was talking about aging and about how in turtles and a specific plant, the chance of death per year is 2.5%, and it's a consistent line. So a turtle that's 100 years old has got the same chance of dying that year as a turtle that's 150 years old. Whereas with humans, that line, I can draw a quick graph actually, that line is completely different. So for a human, the line starts really low. So when you're a baby, you might have 2% chance of dying per year, because newborns have got a higher chance of dying. It could be a higher number, I'm not sure, I'm making it up now. Then when you're 10 years old, your chance of dying is extremely low. You're not going to die from an illness or something like that. Really low chance of dying. This is not including now car crashes or whatever. Obviously that's completely beyond our control, but definitely from a health point of view. And then that line, quite low in your 20s, quite low in your 30s, in your 40s, starting to get a bit higher, 50s a bit higher, 70s, 80s goes ballistic, goes parabolic. So that would be the human kind of chance of death, you could say, over time. And then a turtle, completely different. It's basically just a straight line. Like the chance of death, you can see the difference there. The chance of death is completely different. And why is that? And he was going into like genetics and stuff and talking about these specific, I forget what they were called, but they were a specific part, not a bacteria, but a part in the body that regulates how cells age and how cells duplicate and how cells age, essentially. and they're testing with synthetic drugs and stuff about how they can keep this particular part of the body in a state where it's like the one that the turtle has. So the only thing that will kill you is unnatural causes of death, car crash, things like that, murder, blah blah blah. So it just really looks like people are going to be able to live an awful lot longer in this era. I mean, we already live an awful lot longer. I mean, I think the average life expectancy in most countries is 70 years old. I mean, that's amazing. Considering a few hundred years ago, it was probably 50. 50 would have been a good age to get to. 60 would have been really getting old. I keep hearing this story about Otto von Bismarck in Germany bringing in the, I think it was him, bringing in the pension age, because there was a few guys who were 60 years old. So, okay, fine, people who are 60, fine, you can have your pension. And suddenly everybody gets over 60. Now we have the pension problem in terms of paying it and stuff. That's what they want to raise the pension age all over the world. But yeah, I mean, we're probably my generation will probably see an even higher average age expectancy. And especially if what this doctor was talking about comes about, where we get access to synthetic drugs, where you slow down the effects of aging, coupled with a good mindset, positive self-perceptions about aging, as we see in the study, eating a good diet, doing the right things, keeping your brain sharp. If you know about all these things, you can really enjoy you increase the chance of living a good long life, is my point of view on this. And that's a very privileged position to be in. That was not available to anyone before us, essentially. And just to be aware of that, and to not sabotage your opportunity to experience that. That's my point. So if you are a smoker, you're sabotaging that opportunity, kind of by choice. Like, at the end of the day, it is your choice to smoke or not. And I know quitting is extremely difficult, and that's why it's all the more important people don't start. That's why I've got a bit of an issue with the vaping companies, bringing in kids, marketing to kids, without kids understanding at all the long-term effects of it. But you can see that is a form of self-sabotage, especially in this era where we have such opportunity to live a good long life. I mean, literally, it's never been easier to live a good long life. To do the things you want to do, to be around for the people who need you. It's just the opportunity is amazing. So that's basically the video. Just talking about the fact that mindset really does make a difference, and just to make you aware of those age statistics and stuff. Pretty good chance you're going to live till 80, 90, 100. A lady died just a few weeks ago. She was 120 in Japan. So, the roof's the limit. It really is amazing what people can do in this era. So, yeah, thanks for listening, and I hope you enjoyed this.